Although Queen Charlotte is depicted in Bridgerton and Queen Charlotte as a fictional character, she may have actually been black and real. Bridgerton and Queen Charlotte depict the intertwining tales of illustrious families from the Regency and Georgian eras, and were inspired by a series of novels by Julia Quinn. At social gatherings, romances flourish and power struggles take over. Everyone also looks great. It's interesting that Bridgerton never addressed the question of Queen Charlotte's ethnicity, because it was already addressed in the parallel reality of racial equality. In contrast to Bridgerton, Queen Charlotte explicitly discusses racial issues, which may cause some viewers to draw uncomfortable similarities between Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's real-life narrative, particularly in light of concerns regarding skin tone. This is a significant change that was handled extremely cleverly by including Charlotte's ethnicity into a larger narrative about society and power, especially given the fact that it never even comes up between King George and Queen Charlotte. Even with that blind spot, Charlotte is asked to understand her significance to racial equality, a subject that, in universe, is just as relevant in 2023 as it is in the 1780s. It's crucial to remember that Shonda Rhimes has never asserted that Queen Charlotte is an accurate history, rather the opposite in fact. However, that hasn't prevented many from speculating, especially whether the real Queen Charlotte was black. Surprisingly, there is a persistent idea that King George III's bride might have actually had black complexion. Regarding the question of whether Queen Charlotte was black, historians are divided. Mario de Valdez I Cocum, who thinks Charlotte was related to a black branch of the Portuguese royal line through Alfonso III and his concubine Oruana, popularized the theory. According to Valdez, Alfonso III of Portugal liberated a small town called Faro from the Moors. He requested the daughter of the governor as his mistress. 3 kids were born to him and her. One of these kids reportedly wed into Queen Charlotte's family, according to Valdez, and he cites portraits that showed Charlotte was in fact black, despite the fact that he frequently thinks that whitewashing her appearance was done, as Queen Charlotte herself shows through Princess Augusta. Modern historian Lisa Hilton spoke against the claim, telling the Express that there is no proof and never has been that Queen Charlotte was black. No, the Portuguese royal family did not have a black branch. I'll say it again, Queen Charlotte was not black. The harsh manner in which Queen Charlotte was handled may provide additional proof that she was black. Desmond Shaw Taylor, who surveyed the Queen's photographs, said of her, "She was notoriously ugly. There was a noticeable meow factor at court, as one courtier reportedly remarked of Charlotte in her later years. Her Majesty's ugliness has quite faded." Given that some of the remarks seem like racial slurs, it's possible that they genuinely represent racist beliefs in British society. King Charlotte and her siblings were described by Sir Walter Scott as ill-colored orang-outing-looking figures with black eyes and hooked noses. Regarding Valdez' theory, historians are split, with many categorically rejecting it. Since Queen Charlotte and her black progenitor were separated by a significant generation, many contend that she did not receive any supposedly African characteristics. More specifically, none of the Queen Charlotte caricatures that are on display in the British Museum depict her as black. Despite the concerns, the hypothesis can't really be refuted, and the issue is still open. Bridgerton and Queen Charlotte offer fascinating glimpses into a world that may have existed if Queen Charlotte had actually been black. What would Regency England's response have been to that, and would Charlotte have seized the chance to elevate other black people as well, particularly Simon, Duke of Hastings? Putting that person at the top of the triangle, as a person of color, allows you to expand the boundaries, Rothschild said in an interview with Insider. The potential for black characters to fall in love, experience passion, and be viewed as having great status. If a person of color was in charge of the government, you would have allowed all that room to exist. Whatever the case, Queen Charlotte is not likely to be the first mixed-race monarch in British history. According to a different idea, Edward III's consort Philippa of Hainault, 1314–64, also had African origin. Bridgerton argues that British history textbooks have been significantly more sanitized than is generally believed.